This week we got some snow, and I thought it would be really cool if Kevin got the video from our doorbell and put it together. He put it in fast motion, and it's going really, really fast. As you can see, these cars, you can hardly even see them zipping by. But I figured that you all would enjoy watching the snow, watching the progress, and watching it build up on the sidewalk and the streets. It got to be quite the mess out there, got to be quite slick and icy, but our road crews really work hard and they do a good job. So this is what it looks like on our street tonight. It is Sunday night, and I filmed a video for Instagram, but you won't be seeing this until next week. The road is it doesn't look bad. It looks really slushy. They're telling people though not to go out unless you have to, because people around here aren't used to driving in the snow. As a matter of fact, the police department had a notice on Facebook earlier today that said that one of the major roads was closed because so many people had gone off the road and were on the side of the road, and so they were like, this road is going to be closed. So it's very peaceful out here, but it looks pretty, and you can see our car's completely covered, driveway's covered, and the guy across the street still has a few little lights here and there, but he's taking most of them down. Now this car's coming down the street. Of course, hopefully they don't have to stop too quick. Tomorrow, I have heard we're supposed to get ice. So today it was the snow, and tomorrow is supposed to be ice. Okay, I'm going out back. It might be slicker than snot out here. There's actually like a layer of ice. Jeez, like I'm literally stepping into a layer of ice. Somebody's got like a snowblower or something. Okay, here's the backyard. So you can see icicles on top of these lines, hanging. And it's hanging all over the porch. Yeah, it really is icy out here. I didn't know how bad it would be. And I don't know why people are worried about blowing the snow. I mean, because it's still gonna snow. Oh wow, look. Try not to, I don't want to fall, but it's like you're going through a little layer of ice. Yeah, you see how it crushed it down like that right there? Wow. It's pretty deep. There it is up on the windowsill in the kitchen. I tell you what, it's so beautiful though. The ice is gorgeous on the trees and stuff. I've told you all before, at our old house we had a weeping willow tree, and we had a really bad ice storm, and the weeping willow had to be cut down because it just broke so many branches off. It is January 28th, just after 11 in the morning. And I wanted to show you the damage we received from the ice. This is our weeping willow tree, and you can see how it's broken. And then across the street, one of their trees is especially broken. This is the damage from the other side.
And you can see on a street. And here's neighbor's house again. You're just gonna cut it down, or are you gonna
And it was a shame because it was a beautiful tree. I mean, like, it flourished in that yard. It was a really pretty tree. Yeah, I'm like going through a little layer of ice here. I brought some cereal out for the birds. Or the squirrels, whoever wants it. So I'm gonna give them some cereal. My mom, when I was young, my mom would make a bag of popcorn, and she would bring popcorn out for the birds. But now I mainly want to feed the squirrels because I like squirrels. See how tall it is on the grill? There's a sidewalk under here where I'm stepping. I feel like Frankenstein because every time I go through, you step and then you go through. And there's a sidewalk here. I wanted to get over here where the grass is supposed to be. Kind of look up at the house. Yeah. So there's the back of the house. Well, there's birds flying overhead. So hopefully they'll see that cereal once I go back inside. They're not going to come out. They're not going to come out, of course, while I'm out here. When we had Guido, he absolutely hated using the bathroom on the snow. He wouldn't. And so we had a picnic table, and he would go underneath the picnic table, and he would use the bathroom underneath the picnic table. But now I saw a really good idea on Facebook last night. Somebody had posted a picture of a tarp, and they put a tarp over their grass before it started snowing. And then they said once the snow was finished, when the dog needed to go out, they would lift the tarp up, and then there would be the grass. So the dog would be able to go in the grass. So that must not just be Guido. That must be other dogs as well. There's the other set of steps up to the door. I've got my boots on now. And I've got a scarf around my neck, and I've got a hat on and my coat. The only thing I don't have on is gloves because I'm filming this for you with my cell phone. And so I don't have gloves on. So it gets quite chilly on the fingers. Anyway, I figured we'd come out here and just take a gander. There we go. So we'll have to keep an eye out the window. And if we get any birds or squirrels, then I'll let you know. So I'm back in the house on the back porch. And we always take a towel, like a towel, beach towel, something like that. And we put it back here on the porch so that we have somewhere. And we would do the same thing at the front door, just so we have a place to set our wet stuff. So this is going on the third day of having some snow and ice. That's the thing. Our road looks clear. I've explained why, but all the side streets are really bad. And we've seen video and pictures, and people around here, you know, this isn't, of course, if you were in like Michigan or Minnesota or probably, you know, the northern states, they're used to this. This would be absolutely nothing to them. But where we don't get snow like this that often, it really shuts everything down. So Kevin tried to get out. You could see where he tried to shovel right here, and it still is white. That's because that is a layer of ice. So the top layer is snow, but all that is ice. So that is the most that he got. But Andrew called me, and Andrew wanted to know if I needed anything, if we needed to go to the store or anything like that, because he said he would pick me up and take me. And so I am taking him up on his offer. I have snow boots, so I'm going. Kevin doesn't own snow boots, so I'm not going to make Kevin get out in this. And but we need like creamer for coffee. I know that sounds stupid, but really we have everything else. If we didn't need creamer for coffee, we could actually get by. But I'm going to get creamer, and so the grocery haul for this coming week will probably be really the smallest we've had, because I'm the one going to the store to get stuff, and we're not going out like hunting for stuff, because we've heard that we're supposed to get more snow this weekend. So we might not be getting out like we normally do and looking for stuff. So it might be just a light grocery haul day. So when Andrew picks me up, I will try to film while we're on our way to Walmart, and I'll show you what the roads look like. I expect them to look like this one, though, on the way to Walmart, because it's on like a main road, so I don't think they'll be very bad. So I was very grateful to Andrew for picking me up and taking me to the store. And Christina made a list for him. And so when I was getting my stuff, he was getting his stuff. And if you watch the haul that came out, the grocery haul that came out today, I showed you what Andrew chose at the grocery store. And like I said in that grocery haul, they wouldn't normally get the things that they got then. It's just that, you know, when you're stuck in the house and it's cold, I don't know. I think everybody eats a little bit differently than they do on a normal day. It's like, oh, we're on vacation, and so we can eat donuts and eat junk food, and it just doesn't matter. You know, you're going to be cooped up in the house. But you could see the roads are pretty clear. It looks really good. And then we pull over here in on the side road, and it looked a little slushy. But Andrew has a nice big truck, and so he didn't have any problem at all. And he also parked over here on the side. And we found a clear place with no ice, and here it is on our walk in. Now, I was wearing boots, so I'm glad I wasn't wearing just tennis shoes. If you were wearing tennis shoes or something else, then that might have bothered you walking through that in the parking lot. But it didn't bother me at all because I have some boots. I actually got my boots a couple years ago on clearance, and they're really nice looking boots, and I got them for almost nothing. So Andrew and I walked over to the Valentine stuff, and I was pointing these out. They had music playing, and I was pointing these out. I thought they were little pots for flowers, and they weren't. They were actually mugs. But Kevin has said before, when we've seen mugs like that, they're not really practical. They're really hard when they're like shaped funny like that. They're hard to use. And like people want to use them for hot chocolate and stuff like that. And it just gets kind of stuck. The powder gets stuck in the grooves, and they're kind of hard to wash and everything. So I really think they're meant more to display than actually use. They're not very practical. So these are what our grandkids are into right now. They're into these characters, and they're actually on clearance right now. But I told Andrea, you don't know what you're going to get. So, in those, I never saw those. Of course, that's not on clearance either. That's $25. But you don't know what you're going to get. It's not like they have an app for it like Lego where you can look it up and see what you're going to get. And she got some of these for I think for her birthday and for Christmas. Amelia did. We didn't get her any just because we didn't want her to get a bunch of the same stuff. But apparently there's a YouTube channel and they enjoy watching this girl's YouTube channel. And I'm definitely not up on the YouTube channels. I don't watch any of those YouTube channels. Right now I'm showing you the Barbies. These are from the Barbie movie, Ken and Barbie. And then I had never seen these. Sweet Dreams, and they look like they're soft, like maybe you sleep with them or something like that. But I always enjoy looking at Barbies. I don't think we got the grandkids any Barbies for Christmas at all, or for Amelia's birthday. Her birthday's right there at Christmas as well. And I don't think we got her any Barbie stuff at all. We got her a bunch of Legos. I was a Barbie kid, like from my earliest memories. I had, from like kindergarten on, I had Barbies. So when Ashley was born, I just naturally bought those for her as well. And she had a Victorian house, and she had all kinds of Barbie stuff, and she liked them. She played with them, but I don't think anybody has liked them as much as me. My sister and I would play for hours and hours, play with Barbies, and I played with them up until I was 12 years old, and I was still playing with Barbies. And a lot of my friends had gotten out of it, and they were like, I had a friend who, when I started spending the night with her, that's what we would do. We would play Barbies together. And then it got to be like a year later, and I hadn't spent the night with her in a while, and I went over to her house, and I was like, oh, are we going to play Barbies? And she was like, oh, I'll put those up in storage. And she knew that's what I wanted to do. And so she literally went out. She had put them in her garage. She went out to her garage and got them out so that we could play with those Barbies. Because it's like, well, what else are we going to do if we don't play with Barbies? About that time, though, she got an Atari. And she had like Frogger on the Atari. And so at her house was the only time I ever got to play with an Atari. Now, a couple years later, the Nintendos came out. And so my dad, I don't remember my sister and I ever asking for a Nintendo. I think, though, my dad just heard about these things. And so he got like the newest, coolest toy. And so he got us this Nintendo, and it came with a robot. And I don't think we ever used the robot. It also came with a gun, I want to say. And it came with the game called Duck Hunt, I think it was called. And so I don't think we ever used the robot, but it seems like we did use the gun a couple times. But that was a pretty cool game system. Another thing that my dad made sure he got for us was when the Cabbage Patch Kids were all the craze, he got us a Cabbage Patch Kids. What you were seeing right here is no milk. No milk in Walmart unless you bought like a little carton or something like that. There just wasn't any milk. And this is us on the way back home. I just figured I would show you that the roads are pretty much clear. It's just mainly the snow is still on the sidewalks. So I've shown you the snow. You've seen it. We're in the house. We're not running around a lot. The grocery haul this week will probably be the smallest. Probably one of the smallest grocery hauls I've had.
We could have pulled some out of the cabinets and pretended.
Yeah, I could have pretended. That's the good thing about it is, even though you saw that I didn't have hardly anything, we didn't eat anything. We have all kinds of stuff. We have stuff in the freezer. We have stuff in the cabinets.
Stuff to review.
You stuff to review, and if we want to eat, snack on whatever from reviews. I mean, there's no shortage of food here.
Well, we went to the store last week and made sure we got enough because we knew it was going to snow like this weekend. So we made sure we got enough to kind of last us through a few days. So like a loaf of bread and stuff. It was funny. The bread aisle was like wiped when I went to get bread because I couldn't get my regular loaf. I mean, my regular brand, couldn't get the secondary brand, couldn't get the third brand. I had to end up with just whatever white bread I could find.
Well, that is okay.
Even the Walmart brand was gone when I went.
Somebody asked the question, because in last week's grocery haul, Kevin bought a loaf of Sara Lee.
Which I never would have bought.
Somebody asked, what is your favorite bread?
It's the red bag.
The Heiner's.
Yeah, I love Heiner's bread. I just don't like the 35 calorie one. But I like regular Heiner's bread. It's really good. It's good and soft. It has a good flavor.
Now, Ashley, our daughter, she always buys, that I've noticed, is butternut.
Yeah, butternut's good to bread too. And that probably would have been my second choice there.
I used to buy butternut back in the day. Back before I was looking at calories, I would buy butternut.
Yeah.
So would that be your second choice?
Yeah, that'd probably be my second choice.
Yeah. I've never had Walmart bread, I don't think.
I think it's fine. It's a little drier.
Great value.
I have had it before for some. Yeah, we had it for some. We bought it for something. Maybe I just made sandwiches with it and ate it. It seemed like it was a little drier.
I don't remember ever trying it.
I don't. It's been a while.
I wonder if they make 35 calorie bread.
I don't think so.
Oh, well, they should.
They should.
Because I would try it if they did. I would try it. Because I'm not eating unless it's lower calorie bread. Then I'm not eating it.
Right.
If they didn't have low calorie bread, then I just wouldn't eat bread. Yeah.
Or eat one slice instead of two.
Yeah, just like
you can take one slice and fold it. It's about equal to two.
It's the same.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just like peanut butter. I gave up peanut butter for
regular
peanut butter. I gave it up for years because it was too high in calorie. And so when they came out with powdered peanut butter, it was like, oh my gosh, this is the greatest thing ever because now I can eat peanut butter again. And
I mean, I wouldn't eat powdered peanut butter because I don't have to, but
that's not to say that I don't have peanut butter. Like at Christmas, we make peanut butter fudge and peanut butter roll. And so I do still, it's not like I don't have anything with real peanut butter in it. Of course I do. Peanut butter cookies and stuff like that. But it's just like when I'm making me a sandwich, it's going to have that PB powder on it because why would I want to use 290 calories or 280 calories when I can use 60 or 70 calories.
That sucks.
It doesn't though.
It's awful.
It really doesn't.
It's awful.
You just have to
I think it's awful. I think you just get used to it. For me, I don't eat enough peanut butter sandwiches to make you different. So
yeah, it doesn't matter to Kevin either.
I may eat 5 peanut butter sandwiches an entire year.
And see, I'll have one every day.
You probably have one every day.
Oh yeah, I've.
So I couldn't eat peanut butter every day like that, but I can eat a couple.
How did we get onto this? You were talking about bread. That's it. The store was out of bread.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I found this interesting article. It was in Parade magazine, and I just thought it was an interesting talking point that we would sit here and talk about it for a few minutes. It is 22 surprising phrases that make you instantly unlikable.
Okay.
Yeah, so in
other words, if you say stuff like this all the time.
If you say stuff like this all the
people
time,
are not gonna like
it makes you unlikable. So
we didn't make this up.
No, this is coming from Parade magazine. And there were
psychologists.
Psychologists. There were psychologists. They consulted with different ones, and so when you hear me say certain things like what this can mean, it's coming from their psychologist. So the first one is the surprising phrase that can make you unlockable. That's common sense. So if somebody says to you,
I've said that to a student before.
You've said that?
Don't say that. Don't say it to students.
Was it a long time ago when you didn't know better?
Ages and ages.
Okay, that's what.
Back when I first started.
So it was okay. So you just didn't know any better.
I didn't know, because they just hadn't learned it yet.
Well, the psychologist.
For me, I was looking at it like, you add this plus this, and you subtract that. What's so hard about that? It's very common sense. There's the form. I'm giving you the formula. Here's exactly how you do it.
Right.
But you say it to a student, they get a little annoyed.
But I've never heard you say that. So like
No,
you don't say
I'm
that
telling you, that's been like
forever.
30 years ago.
Well, it says this phrase can be insulting, suggesting that the other person lacks knowledge or abilities. You should consider replacing it with, let's go over this together.
That's
or,
kind of what I did.
Can I clarify anything for
Yeah.
you?
Yeah. Well, I usually went through, like when I was teaching, I would just say, so show me how you would work this out. So I can see their thinking process.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I love that.
Because if you kind of see how they work it out, then you can go, oh, well, there's where you're going wrong.
There's where I love that. Yeah.
That's why math people get you to show your work. It's not to be mean. It's to see where your mistake was.
No, I really do like that. Okay, another
I could see
phrase.
that though, because I could see, I would make me feel bad because it's like,
oh, it's insulting.
It's common sense to you, but if I'm not getting it, I just feel stupid.
Yeah, does that mean I'm not as smart as you?
Yeah.
Another one is calm down. It says this phrase can be troubling because it can seem to have the opposite effect, invalidating their emotions and escalating tension.
I can see that.
You should consider replacing it with, I understand this is upsetting, or let's figure out how to handle it.
I could see that though, because you're basically dismissing how they feel.
Saying calm down.
Yeah, you need to calm down, because it's like you're basically saying this person's really excited for some reason, and you're basically saying whatever reason you're excited about, then you're overreacting.
But
basically.
as I'm reading this, I couldn't really think of an instance for this. But as we're talking, I thought of an instance, and I thought of a way that I have heard it said. I don't want to say who the person is, but we have heard this being said to a particular person, and oftentimes that person is excited or for no reason.
Right.
Whereas like
worked up.
It wouldn't ordinarily bother some people, but this person it really bothers, and so you kind of do want to say you need to calm down, you know.
Well, like if they're in the middle of a store or something, especially, and they're really being like they're getting to the point where they're being not violent, but just really like in your face or something. Yeah, you need to say something. Of course, that like they said, that
it can be worse.
Might lead to the going, what do you mean I need to calm down? Being worse. So.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I can think of a couple of people that I've heard that said to.
Yeah. and it
adults and children.
And it can have the opposite effect. Or I tell you one that's not on here is that I have learned you do not say is, you seem to be in a bad mood today.
Oh yeah, don't.
Now I haven't said that to Kevin, but I have said that a long time ago to someone, and they don't like it. It makes them. If you say you seem to be in a bad mood, they're like, well, you're gonna put me in a bad mood, and it does make it worse, doesn't it? So I don't say that anymore.
It's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, you learn. Okay, the next one is relax. It's no big deal.
That goes with calm down.
That's what it says. This is another version of calm down.
Yeah.
This can trivialize the other person's feelings and make them feel unimportant.
Yeah.
Replace it with, I can see this is bothering you, or do you want to talk about it?
The bad thing is the person you were thinking about with the calm down, they were already talking about it and getting worked up about it.
And it doesn't help to talk about it.
No, I would just say, you would literally have to say to this person, do you need a few minutes just to think about it?
And that's what happens is they're given a few minutes.
Yeah, do you need a few minutes to think about
that's what
happens, you're talking about?
It's like they go off by themselves. Time is given. Sometimes time is your friend, and sometimes you just need to give people time.
Yeah.
And
sometimes you just gotta let them vent.
And not try to lecture or talk
it doesn't do any
sometimes
good
people
anyway.
just need time. Okay, I'm just being honest.
That's kind of like the first one, honestly.
That's common sense.
Yeah, it's kind of, it's just being honest. Basically, just saying, I'm insulting you, and I think I'm being truthful.
It says, honesty is important, but this phrase often justifies harsh or unnecessary criticism. Replace it with, I want to share my thoughts constructively, or here's my perspective.
Or the sentence that starts with, I hate to say this. Which I say, I do that occasionally. I said, I hate to say this, but, well,
But,
you know.
well, yeah, we're going to
Anytime there's a but in a conversation, there's
well,
usually
we're
an
going to
issue.
get to one that's a lot like that
Okay.
in a few minutes. The next one is, we've heard this. I tell it like it is.
They're just being jerks most of the time.
It says, this phrase is a variation of hiding behind the idea of honesty.
Right.
To verbally hand wave away being unnecessarily mean. It also...
There's somebody you watch on a video that does that quite often too.
I tell it like, oh, I forgot about him. Yeah, I know who you're
Where's
talking
that?
about. I know who you're talking about. Oh, I know exactly who you're talking about. It also, but I love him. I love him because he is honest, and
Yeah,
that's
but
why
you
I watch
also
him.
he's also known as a grumpy person. So.
He is known as a grumpy person, but I respect him more than others because he tells the truth and they sugarcoat everything.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I would rather hear his honest, just like last night, we were hearing the honest side, and I said, you will never hear that same honesty and
From
those
the other
truths from these other people because they don't want to talk about it.
Yeah,
They want
that's
to brush
true.
it under the rug, these problems, whereas he's willing to tell you the problems,
That's
be
true.
honest with you.
That's true.
So
Hey, so it's not always bad.
it depends
but-
on how you look at things.
Yeah.
But it says, it also positions you as the be-all and end-all authority on a topic when that might not be the case.
Which is true.
Replace it with, I can't speak for everyone, but, or, this is just my opinion.
He has said that though.
He has said that. This is just my
Yeah.
opinion.
This is just my opinion. That's usually towards the end.
After he tells you,
Right.
I tell it like it is.
I'm going to tell it like it is. And then at the end, but that's just my opinion.
Like I said, there's people that are going to see that and respect it, and you're going to be this person we're talking about has given, I think, very beneficial information and
Seems to be pretty factual.
information that you won't get from anyone else. And it makes no sense, I know, because we're not saying the videos, but I don't want to throw anybody under the bus. But I appreciate it that he tells it like it is. Okay, I told you so.
That's pretty annoying.
You might be right, and the phrase may feel satisfying to you. However, most people aren't fans. Replace it with, I'm glad we found a solution together.
Yeah, that was to my benefit. I won.
Okay, here's another one. Why can't you just blank?
Like, whatever.
I got a better one. Why don't you?
We hear that a
A
lot.
lot. Why don't you? That is probably the one that I hate the most.
It's pretty annoying.
Why don't you?
A whole lot of
do-
suggestion, not a whole lot of doing.
Right. Why don't you do this? Well, because you're not giving me anything. How are you helping me? Are you going to help out in any way? Well, then shut up.
Yeah.
That's what you feel like saying.
The person that says this all the time never actually contributes to anything they're wanting you to do.
Yeah, so just be quiet. Go away. Don't say why don't you or whatever. It says the phrase can come off as impatient and critical, suggesting the other person is being difficult or unreasonable. Replace it with what's making this challenging and how can we make this easier? Of course, mine is the way that I said it is why don't you? So it's different than why can't you just blank. So it's a little different, but
why can't you just pick that up or clean your room or whatever?
right, why can't you just throw that away, you know? No offense.
Oh, that's all.
No offense, but that's the one I said with
you're leading up to,
I'm
like I
getting
said,
ready to offend
most of the
you.
time when there's a but.
no offense, but often this one precedes something that is in fact offensive.
Yeah.
It can instantly put others on the defensive, making them less receptive to your opinion and does not give them time to emotionally prepare for the feedback.
No.
So-
Anytime you hear that, I immediately go, okay, I'm prepared to be offended.
No offense, yeah.
Yeah, this is going to be offensive.
I can honestly say I used to do that a lot more than I do.
I think I probably did a lot of these a lot more than I do
But I
nowadays.
don't now.
Yeah.
Nowadays,
I'm
it's-
sure some of these still slip out occasionally.
There's one of these, honestly, out of all these, there's one that I can point out that I actually do say, but it's not very often. but we'll get to that one.
I'm sure I've used some of these, and not most of these. But
You wouldn't understand.
Because you're an idiot.
This phrase assumes that the other person lacks the capability or intelligence to grasp a concept, which can be insulting and exclusionary. Replace it with, let me explain why this is important and how it works. Rather than saying, you wouldn't understand.
Yeah, because you're immediately telling them they're stupid.
Right. Whatever.
Sometimes whatever is a good phrase.
Okay, tell me when.
Like when you're picking, not when you're saying, you know, when you're trying to pick your arguments, especially with children. With children, whatever is your saving grace. Because if they're arguing about they want to do a certain thing, you have to think about that thing they're wanting to do and go, is it really worth arguing? Is it really worth getting mad and worked up about? If it's not, you go, whatever.
Whatever.
You do whatever you want to do.
And I wish I had learned that a long time ago with the kids.
But what are they saying?
They're saying it's dismissive, and they said replace it with, I see where you're coming from. They just...
Okay, like let's say somebody wants to go outside without a coat on. I'm just saying that's for an example. And you think they're stupid for going outside without a coat on.
It's below freezing.
Because it's cold.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm fine, I'll run around. At that point, you're just like, do I need to argue about this? You know what? You go outside and you be cold. You do whatever you want to do.
Whatever. Yeah, whatever.
Is it worth an argument? No, I mean, you may have to pay the doctor bill when they get sick, but just, whatever.
Yeah, life goes on. Yeah. They're not going to die from...
So I can see different cases of that.
Yeah. Okay, bless your heart. This is the one.
Because you're an idiot.
This is the one that I can honestly say, I never said it before having this YouTube channel, and I left this comment today on somebody's comment. I said, bless your heart. And I did not mean bless your heart at all. Bless your heart is code for something else, which I will not say. But if I'm telling you bless your heart, then that is not what I'm meaning at all. And it doesn't mean... it said it subtly conveys the idea that you know better and can come across as belittling. That is not even what I mean when I say it. Mine is the old middle finger. When if I'm saying bless your heart, then that means that's as good as go away. That's what I'm saying.
To me, when I hear bless your heart, it sounds like they're just being an idiot. Like you think they're stupid, like they're dumb.
Well,
like you're a simpleton.
The comment that it was left on said, they said, because it just literally this morning it happened. They said, I'm coming from the Lunchtime Review channel, which is Kevin's other channel, and it's just Kevin reviewing lunch. I'm coming from the Lunchtime Review channel to see what your other reviews are like, and the wife talks way too much. And I wrote, bless your heart, and I left it at that, because to me, that was enough. And if you get it, you get it, and if you don't, you don't. And so, whatever. So that is one that I will say to this day. They don't like this phrase. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. They said, the psychologist said, it's smug and unoriginal and inaccurate. See, I disagree with that. I think it is accurate. I think insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result.
There's people that form habits in life, and they do the same thing over and over again, and they always have the same outcome, whether it's picking the wrong person to be with, or whether it's spending their money a certain way, whatever, and it's always like, okay, you're in credit card debt again, whatever.
Right.
I could see where that phrase is true to some extent, but I could also see where it's a little, who's going to say that whole long sentence?
I know. They said that that's just a phrase that makes you unlikable.
Yeah.
I disagree with that one.
No.
It makes you unlikable.
The phrases I hear all the time are the ones that are repeated every single time. Hey, how you doing? And they say the same thing every time. That gets annoying.
Yes, I know. Okay. They also don't like, I'm so OCD.
I'm sure that's because you're probably not OCD and you're insulting the people that are.
Well, that's what basically
OCD.
what they're saying. They're
I've heard that
saying
before.
using clinical terms to describe behaviors like the natural desire for a clean kitchen can also be offensive to people who meet diagnostic criteria. They
Right.
also promote stereotypes.
Yeah. So like if I'm in I've seen this a lot in video game, people playing streaming and stuff, and they'll line up something on the screen and they'll line it up like I can't handle it being not in the right place. And they'll say, I know it's just my OCD kicking in, which in reality, they don't have OCD. They're just saying, I like it to be orderly.
But am I going to get offended by them saying
But
that?
if you were truly OCD and you suffer with that condition, I could see where you might be a little sensitive to that.
Okay.
We aren't, but I would say
we aren't because we don't have it.
we don't have it.
Okay.
Yeah. I try not to do that. One of the guys I watch, he says he likes things to be symmetrical.
Oh.
So instead of saying I'm OCD, he just says I like things to be symmetrical,
Right.
like evenly distributed.
Right.
It's just a better way of saying it.
I have never heard this next one in my life.
Well,
Let's align visions.
no, never heard that.
It says when people use this language with those unfamiliar, it can make them instantly unlikable. Replace this with let's connect and explore.
Are they saying like we need to
visions.
come to an agreement? That's what it sounds
that's
like.
what we would say is let's come to an agreement.
Yeah,
of some sort.
let's see how we can compromise
You're right.
or whatever.
Okay.
I've never heard that one.
This is how we've always done it. They said
That seems a lot of work.
yes,
places.
this is how we've always done it. This phrase can stifle innovation and make others feel as though their ideas are not wanted or valued.
It's usually used by people that have been at companies a long time.
Yes,
And
and
they
they
don't
don't
wanna
want to
change.
change.
Yeah.
Churches.
Churches are pretty bad about
my
that too.
gosh, yes,
Um, I know at our college we really have strived, or we did when I was there, we really strived not to say stuff like that because we were always trying to think ahead. Because education is very stagnant in a lot of senses.
Right.
We still teach people the same way we taught them 150 years ago.
Right.
So to not, another phrase I hate, think outside the box. I could see where that would be. It's very negative. It means it. I don't think it's like makes you unlikable. I just think it makes you seem like stuck in your ways and
Old and crotchety.
Old and crotchety, yeah. So I've heard people say stuff like that before, and I immediately think, "Wow, you just need to retire."
Yeah, it's time to retire.
It's time to retire when you got to
Yes.
the point where you're not willing to even have an
open mind.
An idea to even. And I got to that point too. I hate to admit, I never said that and thought that specifically, but I got to where I was thinking, I've been doing this job for like 6 years, and I'm kind of stuck in my ways of how I like to do things.
Right.
And it's good to get some fresh blood in there to see things differently and come up with ideas that I never thought of.
Well, they said you should consider saying, let's consider if there's a better way to approach this.
Yeah, I could see that.
Okay. So the next phrase is that it's not my responsibility.
That's just being lazy.
This phrase can seem selfish and uncooperative, showing a lack of willingness to help.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that you have to say yes to everything.
Exactly.
However, there are more tactful ways to discuss requests that generally aren't on you to fulfill, such as, let's figure out who can help you with this.
That's what I usually do. It's
Or I'm not sure, but I'll try to find out.
That's what
I
was really good at that because most of the things I would get emails from students, which I can't help. And I would say, let me get you in contact with whatever, and they'll be able to answer all your questions. That's how I would do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Then
A lot of these are seem like work.
Some of them are, no drama.
I've never heard anybody say that.
I have said before that I have said to people I don't like drama.
Right, but to actually say to someone?
No drama. I've never heard anybody say no drama. It says this phrase communicates that you believe you're better at managing emotions.
I could see where that would.
Yeah, I haven't heard that though.
I've never heard anybody use that.
No, I haven't either. I don't need toxic people in my life.
I have heard that.
This one is often a variation of no drama and uses the Instagram and TikTok buzzy term toxic. Usually the person saying this is the most dramatic or toxic person that you know.
Worst. Yeah.
Their lack of awareness of being the common denominator in dramatic or toxic situations is extremely irritating. Sometimes they seem to label others as toxic simply because they don't agree with them, are honest with them, or are trying to set boundaries with them. You're always so dramatic.
That's similar.
This one straight up accuses a person of being dramatic instead of implying it as no drama does.
Right.
Labeling someone as dramatic dismisses their emotions and can make them feel belittled. Try to replace it with, I can tell this is really affecting you. Let's talk about it.
I know someone that I would like to say that to quite often, and it's not the person you're thinking.
Probably not. The next one is, I know how you're feeling. So like if somebody has just experienced maybe the death of a loved one, and then you say, I know how you're feeling.
Yeah. Or I felt the same way, or I've been through that same thing.
Well, it says, do you though? Even if you do, does this one resonate? So do you say that? So like you just shouldn't, but sometimes it's just hard to know what to say.
I know, like especially if, well, you can say, I'm so sorry if you're lost.
Usually I say the honest truth. I don't know how you're feeling. I can't imagine how you're feeling.
Yeah, I can't imagine how you're feeling.
I'm sorry. I'm here for you. I can't, I will listen to you, but I cannot imagine how you're feeling right now, is what I usually say.
Even if you've been through similar situations, you're going to react differently emotionally.
Yes.
So you're never going to know how that person's feeling because you feel things differently.
Yeah, nobody reacts the same way.
Yeah. So, I guess they didn't really give you an option to that one. They just basically said, don't say that.
Yeah, this one surprised me. I wish I had your blank. So, like, for me to you... I don't know how
that would be insulting to the other person.
For me to you, I would say, I wish I had your patience.
Okay.
They're saying that could insult you.
But how's that insulting to me?
Well, I'll tell you. They said, the person who is feeling insecure ends up sparking emotions of discomfort and unwarranted guilt in the other person.
Because they're better at
usually
something?
Leading them to pull away or feel pity. Instead, you could use a compliment to mark that you appreciate something about the other person without the indication that you covet that trait or possession.
I could see that. I like how patient you are. I really love your patience, or something like that, instead of saying, I wish I
had your patience.
Yeah, I could see a slight
I think that's kind of petty.
Yeah.
I do. I personally think that one's petty.
Yeah, I could see where, it's not going to make me feel bad if you say that, but I could see where some people would.
Because that's another one. I guess I would say that. I've said that to you before, that I wish I was as, I tell Kevin all the time, I wish I had his ability to read something and understand it. I wish I had his patience. I wish I could get on the computer and just watch a video and then be able to just go do it, no matter what that thing is. To just be able to do it. Boy, that is miraculous.
But that doesn't
take offense to that.
That doesn't make me feel
no.
Anyway.
No, and most people it wouldn't.
So
I think that's a little bit touchy.
The only thing I could say is sometimes you've said stuff like that, and I'll say back something like, "Well, you could do that too, or we could try to, we could try that, or whatever."
But you don't feel bad about it.
I don't feel bad about it.
No, he doesn't feel bad about it.
But that's me. That's not everybody.
Okay, and then the last one is, you look tired.
Or you look sick. Have you been sick?
I've never said that.
I've never said it either, but I've heard other people say it.
I think it's very rude.
Yeah.
That's extremely, why would you ever say that to somebody? You look tired.
I've heard people say, you must have been out partying all weekend or something like that because they look all bad. Or have you been sick? I've heard that very specific phrase come out of somebody at work before.
Has asked you?
Not me personally. I've heard them say it to other people.
Have you been sick?
Have you been sick?
It's like, you just reminded me of something I did say that I did not realize was offensive years ago. I said to somebody, I was sitting with a neighbor, and another neighbor came out, and I said to that neighbor, did you...
Now that you think about it, it's insulting.
I said, this is awful. I I can't believe it. Why? And I would have never known if the neighbor had have said, I can't believe you just said that. I said, did you wash your hair today? Because it looks so clean.
I like it implying it's not usually that clean.
Usually it looks filthy. Did you wash your hair today? Because it looks so clean. Yes. She was like, I can't believe you just said that. I literally didn't mean, though, to be insulting.
You were trying to say your hair looks really nice.
I was trying to say it looks so good. It's so glossy and shiny. Normally, yes.
So
honestly,
if you had just said, wow, your hair looks great, that would have been fine instead of asking them, did you
wash your hair?
today out of all the weeks?
Out of all the days, yes. And I said it to a man. I was sitting with a woman neighbor, and it was a man that I said it to. He kept his hair a little longer, and it normally was stringy looking, and so it did look, and I guarantee you he had just washed it. But now I know you're not supposed to say stuff like that. You can't say that. But anyway, you look tired. This comment can make the person feel self-conscious, duh, or imply that they don't look their best, which can be discouraging. Replace it with, how are you doing today? Or how's everything going? Yeah, which I completely understand. For the most part, truly, I think a lot of these are life experience.
Yeah.
I think you, just like Kevin, when he told you when he started off in teaching, he said, that's common sense to a student.
Yeah,
well, that was
said it once.
years ago.
Yeah.
And what gave you the idea that that wasn't okay? How did you realize that you should have said that?
I think the student said to me, well, it might be common sense to you or something like that. And I went, yeah, that probably didn't sound the way I meant it to. Yeah.
But a lot of these, I think, are just truly...
Yeah, you learn.
You live and you learn that not everybody thinks the way you think. And...
You know what? It's also hard to keep track of all this stuff. Because there's so many things that I would never be insulted by, but other people are. So it's
exactly.
Like... Sometimes it feels like you're walking on eggshells when you're talking to a bunch of people.
Sometimes it is. I think this truly matters to people who work in the public.
Yeah,
I think these are important. Like for me and Kevin, Kevin's retired. We're here. I'm doing my YouTube thing. We're on YouTube.
I'm talking to you all on video, but you're not saying stuff that I'm going to react to like this.
Exactly. So for us, I think these really matter a lot if you work with the public. And some things, you know, I just know I've learned through life you don't say. Like, well, you seem to be in a bad mood today. I have learned that is a trigger, which I hate that word too. I don't like, there's certain words that like...
Yeah, but so the word trigger triggers her.
Yeah, the word trigger. Well, that's, you know why? Because everybody says it these days. But no, truly, it's just something that everybody says. But asking somebody, I know now, you don't ask somebody if they're in a bad mood, because if they're not, you're certainly going to put them in a bad mood by asking that. But some of these you just learn through life, just life experience. So I would like to know from you all, these were 22 phrases that make you instantly unlikable. Is there one that you can think of that you think, a phrase that somebody says that makes people instantly, it might be something that we say all the time and that we don't realize that we say, because, you know, we're always trying to be aware, and we're always trying to do better, and if I have said bless your heart, like if you've told me I love your channel, it's a wonderful channel, and I've said bless your heart, that's such a sweet comment, I think
that's different.
Yeah, that means I've used it in a different way. I'm just telling you that 9 times out of 10 when I say it, that is not the way I'm meaning it. But yeah, you can let us know if there's any phrases that you can think of. And we'll see you next week.